Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to tell you a little story about my last adventure to Target, but first of all, Third Floor Toys, AJ, man, hooked me up with Symbiote Spider-Man, sent it all the way across country. I really appreciate when there's another collector out there that's willing to look out for you, and when they know that you are having trouble finding a figure. So I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. You know, it's always nice to know that there's actually somebody who is thinking about their fellow collector when they have an opportunity to pick up an extra. But anyways, so here's what I'm talking about. I had this great experience because I walked into Target and I found the Carbonized Mandalorian on the peg. And I thought, oh my gosh, can't believe it. I was gonna pass on the online, but when I saw it in person, I was like, yeah, you know what, I'll add it. I got the credit collection one and I got the regular, so of course I'm gonna add this one to my collection. The funny part is, I walked out of the aisle, the department manager was kind of walking towards me, he kind of greeted me, I greeted him, and I said, hey man, do you have any more of these carbonized figures? And I was really looking for the speeder bike, and he said, oh, where'd you get that? And I said, well, it was on the peg over there. And then he looked at the employee who was doing the stocking, and he went, dude, like that, you know? And I was like, oh, there must be some unwritten code that he wasn't supposed to put it out on the shelf. Then he tried to take it from me probably 3 times by trying to tell me, hey, let me check and make sure that's not street dated or register logged. And I just told him every time, like, no, it's okay, I'll just take it up to the front, and if it's register locked, I'll just leave it up there. But he tried very hard to get this from me. And I wouldn't let it out of my hand, and I think he kind of knew that I wasn't going to let it out of my hand, so he stopped persisting in that respect. And I've been very skeptical about the store because it's been very hard to go in there and actually find something that is a desirable item or something that's new, because it seems like they never make it to the shelves in that store. I don't know why I go in there. It's just for this 1 in 100 chance. It's like on my little hunting route, and it just so happened to be there. And so when I had this interaction, it totally made me think, like, man, this guy's totally setting aside figures either for himself or other people. And so I got to ask you a question. I mean, do you think that's fair for an employee of a store to maybe be setting aside figures for himself to resell, or to set them aside for somebody else to resell, or hold them off for other collectors? Because I'll tell you, I would love to be able to have that opportunity and know somebody really in a store who might be able to like put something aside so that when I don't have to show up there at like 8 o'clock in the morning, because there's no way I could ever do that unless it's on the weekend or on an off day or something like that. But what do you think about having that kind of advantage? And how do you feel about people who are going in there and buying stacks, like pulling every figure off the shelf and being able to buy them and then throwing them up on like eBay or something like that and selling them for double, triple, or whatever markup over the regular price? So I know this is a big deal. I know that on Twitter and stuff like that, they got that collectors helping collectors where people are around, and that's exactly how I got this Symbiote Spider-Man. Another collector who had in his heart to like get me this figure knowing that I needed it when they were able to get an extra one. But I just want to know what you think about this whole buying and reselling. Whose responsibility is that? Because in my mind, I haven't been able to like make a determination on whether or not it should be the retailer's ultimate responsibility to make sure that somebody's not walking away with all 7 or 8 of the heavy infantry Mandalorians as soon as they hit the shelf, or if it's really the distributor, which is Hasbro, and making sure that every Target gets like 100 of them, especially in like maybe bigger markets. Because I've seen these shelves where they're just like, you know, these pictures where they're just like littered with the speeder bike troopers. But I can tell you at my stores, I would never see anything like that. And I also got another question. So in online, this is $36. In the store, it's scanned $47.99. So do you have one of those Targets that just automatically mark up every figure for what they're regularly priced? And then do you have to price match every time you're at the registers? Because I'd like to know, because my Targets, are always marked up, and you always have to price match. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And don't forget, everybody, have a fantastic day.